believe the Ospreys are on the bus right now. We'll catch up right now with Ospreys head coach Scott Baker. Coach, thanks for taking the time. Good morning to you.
My pleasure. Good morning, Mike.
Are you guys on the bus right now?
Indeed we are.
All right, heading south to Maryland right now. It's an ECAC game against Widener. So let's start there, Coach. I know you guys finished the regular season right at 500, so it was a little up in the air if you would get an invitation to the ECAC tournament. But you get that invite, you win an opening round game. I mean, how much fun is it just to still be playing baseball this time of year at the college level?
Yeah, it's nice for the kids because they're not, they're not in class. You don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. On the other hand, we will be a little shorthanded today without our 6 seniors who are graduating. But it's been kind of fun. You can practice in the morning and let them have the rest of the day. But it was a pleasant surprise to be able to keep playing after kind of a tough road trip to end the regular season in the NJAC.
I certainly want to talk a little bit about some of the games this year, but let's go back a little bit. And I know people will be familiar with your name here in South Jersey. I mean, you're a South Jersey guy, but we didn't see you for a few decades there. You go down south and coach at a couple schools down there. Tell us a little bit about your journey back to New Jersey. I know sort of in the back of your mind you always wanted to get back. You had some pretty good gigs down south, but why was the timing right this season in terms of taking over at the helm for Stockton?
Well, my wife and I had been debating and considering. It kind of came up with a fight in order to move back. Our sons are grown and out of the house, so we were looking for a way to come back because we've been fortunate enough to be able to spend a good chunk of the summers here the last few years. And when the opportunity at Stockton came up, a place where I felt like we could win, and it's a great place, a growing institution, and I was offered the opportunity to come back here, we kind of took a leap of faith and jumped on it. And so we got 2 birds with one stone, getting to come home to Jersey and getting to take over a place where I think we have a chance to do some things.
When you're at a place that long, and we're talking about these stops down south, coaching stops at University of the South in Tennessee, one of your stops down there, I mean, that becomes home for you. So in a sense, was it difficult? You just explained your reasoning, but was it difficult too to sort of leave that behind when you are in a place for so long, like we talked about, 14 years one place, 15 years another place, that almost becomes home, right?
It does. I'm not one of those coaching nomads. We kind of have planted roots and stayed where we were for a long time. But it's funny because my wife just texted me a little while ago. She's still in Tennessee. We're going to settle and close on our house down there. She said, "This is my last weekend in this house." And I said, "Well, that's kind of bittersweet, isn't it?" She said, "Yeah, because that's basically where our kids grew up." But Jersey's always been home. It's where we've spent Christmases and other holidays. And like I said, the summers. And both my sons worked up here at I'll put a little plug for Gregory's and Summers Point. They all worked there when they were in college and high school and had summer jobs. And it's where our family, the rest of our family, our remaining family, and many of our friends are. And it's just it's been kind of neat to come back.
Scott, tell us a little bit about where you played your high school ball and your college ball. I know you grew up in Linwood. Did you play at Mainland?
I played at Mainland for both Frank Shivo and Ken Williams, and I actually coached there for a couple of years with both those guys when Coach Williams took over for a little bit. I coached my first year with him, and then Coach Shivo came back after that, and I coached with him. But anyway, I went to Mainland, and then I was at ACC with Bobby Woods back in the day when ACC was quite a power. And then I went to Salisbury in Maryland, another outstanding baseball program. So those stops, and along with being at Georgia Southern under Jack Stallings, I had a lot of good mentors and a lot of people that taught me a lot about the game and about life.
Catching up right now with Scott Baker, head coach of the Stockton Ospreys baseball team. Stockton playing in an ECAC tournament game later on today down in Maryland. They'll be going up against Widener. So, Scott, you get the job up here at Stockton. What was the transition like? Baseball, obviously, a little bit different in the Northeast than it is down in the South. But, how long did it really take for you to get acclimated to the coaching job there, get acclimated with the players, and sort of really tie this whole thing together coming into the season?
Not long, really, because the kids here have been great. They're terrific kids. They're a little bit different kind of kid than I had at Swanee down in Tennessee. They were mostly the private school, boarding school type of kids. These guys have just jumped right in and been terrific to work with. They play hard. They practice hard. There's never any quit in them, and I think it was, for both of us, it was a nice change for me after the 14 years, and maybe it was a nice change for them. But everything well with these guys. I couldn't have asked for anything more than what they've done. And that's their best effort every day.
So you come north and then you go back down south with the team. I know you guys went to Florida for a tournament down there, and I know, I'm trying to look at the stats here. I think you lost more games than you won, but certainly some good competition down there. And Coach, what else does that do for a team? You always hear about the bonding that a team experiences on a trip like that, and especially for sort of a younger, new team with a new coach. How far did that trip go in terms of bringing the team together as well?
Well, actually, we did go 5-4 in Florida.
Okay, but, I stand corrected. So above 500 on the trip. Very nice.
It was nice because, we had 5 or 6 games either snowed or iced or rained out up here before we went down. So it was not only was it good to get away and get in some nice weather, but it was also the first chance that I had to see them in game action, and they had to see me in game action. And I think that once again they just kind of adapted and went along with the way I do things, and we lost the game down there we shouldn't have lost. We won a couple that we shouldn't have won. So I got to see right there that I had a bunch of guys that were going to keep playing hard and weren't going to quit, and until the last out was made, and so that was nice. And I knew that what we were coming back up to was our conference is very, very tough, and so that was good preparation for conference play.
Obviously, still a lot to play for right now is Stockton taking part in the ECAC tournament. I know probably, Coach, a little bit disappointing that you miss out on the WENJ-FM tournament. That's a goal for, obviously, any coach in the WENJ-FM to not only get in that tournament but make some noise there. I mean, what do you like to see? What do you need to see from your team in terms of improvements heading into next year? I know we're still playing some baseball right now, but where would you like to see your guys sort of clean things up if you're going to make a run at that conference tournament next season?
I think that the biggest difference between us and a couple of teams that were ahead of us is pitching depth. We've got some guys who are pretty good pitchers. We don't really have any flamethrowers on the team. And the one thing we could come across in the WENJ-FM is the other teams were able to run out some, pitcher after pitcher after pitcher, and our depth was not quite what theirs were. But we do have a very young pitching staff, and we returned just about everybody on the staff, and we'll have a few more guys coming in next year that should help. But I think the experience that our young pitchers got this year will definitely be a plus for us next year.
Scott, what about recruiting? I mean, was it sort of a neat experience for you? I know it's an ongoing experience recruiting at the Division III level, but you're back in an area that you know well, you haven't been in a while, and what's the recruiting been like there in terms of getting out and trying to connect with some of these rising juniors and seniors and guys going on to try and decide where they're going to play college baseball? What's it been like connecting with the guys back in South Jersey and really statewide, as you guys do a lot of recruiting in state?
Yeah, we're working at it. I think that our main focus is going to be our backyard and Ocean County and Shore area. Our pitching coach lives up in Manahawkin, Stratford area, so he's doing that. Our assistant coach and hitting guy is in the Marlton area, so he's kind of got down there. And while I wished I had been able to get out a little bit more, but I've been to some local high school games, and there are some juniors, rising seniors that I really liked, and we'll be in contact with. We'd like to keep the best players home, but a lot of these guys in the area, they're like I was. They want to get away to start and end up coming back, and but we're going to try to see if we can't get some of the better ones and convince them that Stockton's not just an up and coming baseball program, but a very good academic institution as well.
So you get Widener University in the ECAC tournament today down in Maryland. You mentioned you're without your seniors right now as they attend graduation. What's the mentality right now? Sort of playing with some house money. Are you guys right now in this ECAC tournament?
I think the guys who are going to get a chance to play are very excited today. They're, they've been chomping at the bit to get in there. It's just the guys ahead of them have played. They played very well. But I do believe that the ones who are going to get in the lineup today are eager and ready to go, and we're just going to go out there and see what happens. We've absolutely got nothing to lose, and so we had a lot of fun, I think, playing on Wednesday in a game that was, we kind of didn't expect, and just went out there and put a good whipping on a team that was seeded higher than us. So I'm kind of excited see what happens down here today, and to watch some of these younger guys who will be playing for us a lot next year to see what they bring to the table.
Again, Stockton taking part in the ECAC tournament up against Widener later today down in Maryland. Head coach Scott Baker, thanks for joining us. Great to have you back in South Jersey, and good luck to you and your guys later today. We hope to catch up again next season.
Thank you very much, man.
All right, you got it. That's Scott Baker, head coach of the Stockton Ospreys.